Hello, everyone, and welcome to this MCTV Tech and Treats for June 2020. My name is Jonathan Grabowski. I'm the Executive Director here at Marshfield Community Television. And today's Tech and Treats is on how to use Zoom. This is the first of our Tech and Treats series that we're doing virtually. Due to COVID-19 and many other things going on, we decided let's go virtual, and why not make the first one Zoom. So this is why we're doing this tonight. Just a few reminders to those who are joining us and those watching. We'll be posting this later on as well. We are open to members. So just remember, if you are a member of MCTV, you can get back into the facility. You just have to RSVP in advance through MCM, phone call, email, and we can find some time for you. Also, just remember, equipment's you're still able to pick that up via the drop-off box. Annual meeting is July 14th. At 6 p.m. over Zoom. Many members got that notification recently via Constant Contact. Just went out today as another notice in the ballots for the board elections. And our next Tech and Treats is going to be in late July. I believe it's going to be July 28th, and that's going to be on using social media to promote your content. Great way for members who produce content to learn about how they can use social media such as Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook to improve their content and promote their content and get out there to the world. So this will be posted, as I mentioned, later on MCTV's platforms, and I'll be the moderator. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat box, and I will work with Haley, who's going to be leading this workshop, to get them answered at the end. So with further ado, I want to introduce Haley Herman, who is MCTV's production assistant, and she will be handling this Tech and Treats. So Haley, take it away.
All right. So hello, everyone. Like John said, I'm Haley Herman. I am the production assistant here at Marshfield Community Television. And today I'm going to be showing you not just how to use Zoom in general, but how to use Zoom as a way to actually create videos and create content. So, at this time, it's June 30th. Massachusetts is currently in phase 2, step 2 of reopening. So as things are starting to open up, we're still kind of adjusting to what everyone's calling this new normal, but this new normal of social distancing. One of the silver linings of this situation is that it did happen at a time when technology is amazing and allows us to do stuff like this. So I'm sure you've probably heard nonstop about Zoom. You've probably been on a bunch of Zoom meetings. So I'm sure most of you who are attending or watching this probably already know some of the basics of Zoom. But I guess in this, I'm going to kind of show you just how to take it a little further. So without further ado, let me show you a little presentation. All right. Can we see that, John? Cool. All right. So All right, so this is how you can use Zoom to create content. And then we'll go to the next slide. So first of all, what is Zoom? Zoom, as you can probably tell, is video conferencing software. It's kind of similar to things like FaceTime that you use to video call people. So it's very useful for communicating, but actually Zoom is also incredibly useful for making videos. And it's very easy, and of course I will show you how. So some examples of this are webinars, recorded seminars, podcasts. I've actually recorded a podcast on Zoom and it was super easy. Sketches, interviews, basically anything you can think of, any type of video you want to make, you can do it on Zoom. And so I'm actually going to show you a couple of examples. One of them is something pretty funny. It's a comedy sketch that an improv troupe did over Zoom. So I'll pull that up, and then
you, sir. That is truly disgusting. Most people think that this is a true act. Oh, in fact,
excuse me. They had their chance.
No. I don't think you're not going to talk over me.
Some even call them.
Hey, we're all yelling now.
That we've ever seen in the city.
Please. They had their chance and they blew it. They had millions and millions of mirrors to make something of themselves, and we managed to do it in way less time.
This is a respectable network. Please, if you have something to say, please just say it.
I think that it's totally fair that I sent the meteor to kill the dinosaurs.
You are truly a monster. You know what? If anyone wants to beat this person up outside the studio, I'll tweet our address now. Please follow our Twitter.
Good luck. There's more meteors where that came from.
Oh, geez, everyone runs.
All right. So that's just one example, and you can tell that they have little backgrounds on them. That's an example of Zoom's virtual background, kind of like a little green screen on a budget, which I'll show you how to do a little later. And then we have another one, an MCTV original production that we did Meet the Candidates that was produced and recorded over Zoom. So I'll just show you a little bit of that.
Last year. I've got a senior in high school and then a freshman. My daughter is a freshman. So they are my job one and we've been a lot of together time over the past few weeks, but everyone is doing well. I have lived in Marshfield for over 20 years and have loved this community. It's really been a great home to raise my family, a lot of great neighbors and a lot of great people in the community. And I, as far as my background, I started off as a reporter. So much like the Marshfield Mariner reporter, I was a reporter in the town of Medfield, and really, in that job, kind of cut my teeth on, town government and how it works. And it's
All right. All right, so that's just a couple of examples of Zoom being used. Let me get this back to full screen. Of Zoom being used to create productions. And so it seems a little intimidating because you're thinking, wait, I just use this to talk to people. How am I supposed to create a full-fledged show out of this? But I'm going to show you it is the easiest process in the world. All right, so some useful and fun features on Zoom. Recording. This is the biggest one. Zoom allows you to record your meetings depending on what type of account you have, what type of meeting you're in. Sometimes the host might have to give you permission to do that, or if you launch your own meeting, you can just do it yourself. So that's the biggest thing. Zoom allows you to record all your meetings. The best part is it will automatically export to a video file after you end the meeting. So as soon as you click end meeting, it'll already start downloading that video for you, and then it'll direct you right to the folder it's in so you can access it. And then editing it is simple. You can import it into any editing software of your choice. So if you use Final Cut, iMovie, anything like that, Premiere, you can just edit the video as you normally would any other footage you have that you film on a camera. And so you'll see here, there's that button right on the bottom that says record. You just click that and you get started. All right, and then for editing, things like that, cutting out little like awkward pauses, anything like that. I actually did have to edit video of a Zoom meeting where somebody muted their mic by accident and for like 5 minutes couldn't figure out how to get it back. So I had to basically cut out a whole chunk of that. And then, but it's super, super easy. And of course, we're always here to help you if you need it. All right, and then screen sharing. This allows anyone to display what's on their computer for everyone else in the meeting to see. Again, like recording, depending on what kind of meeting you're in, sometimes the host might have to give you permission to share your screen, or if you're just running the meeting, you can share your screen. And so it's very good for things like PowerPoint presentations, or if you have a video or photos you want to share, kind of like exactly what we're doing right now. And the screen sharing version and the screen sharing option is very easy to see. It's at the bottom. It's that bright green square. Just click that and you'll be able to display your screen. All right, and that's also very useful for a lot of colleges have been using Zoom for their classes. It helps professors and teachers display their PowerPoints so students can take notes. So that's very useful for like a webinar aspect. All right, and then the chat. So for people who prefer not to speak on camera, each Zoom meeting has a chat room, and there's options to chat with either the entire group or send a message to another person. So if you open up the chat, which I might be able to on this meeting, let's see if I can show you that. Probably not right this second. So if you open up the chat on your meeting, it gives you two options. It either says send to all participants or to send to a specific participant. And I believe Zoom does give an option to save the chat log. I personally haven't done it, but that can be very helpful if there's links you want to be able to access later. If somebody sends a website or a link to a presentation, you can keep that, and then you'll be able to access it and reference it whenever you need. And then there's the chat function right next to share screen. So that'll open up a little chat window, type whatever you want, send it to either every participant or a specific participant or the host. All right. And then custom backgrounds. This is the fun one. This is my favorite one. I'm doing it right now, as you can see, because I'm sure the MCTV set is a much more aesthetically pleasing background than my very disorganized room. So custom backgrounds, they're a very fun addition to something like comedy sketches like we just watched, or narrative videos. So Zoom will allow you to use a picture or a video to use as a background when you're on camera. Just one thing to note, I'm not sure about the Windows requirements, but I know definitely you'll need Mac OS 10.13 or higher to do that. I believe that's High Sierra. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But it's super easy to do. So it gives you the option. There's pictures that are already there as a default. And then there's also the option to upload your own, which I'll show you in a later video on how to set up your Zoom meeting. All right, and so now we're on how to install and set up Zoom. So downloading Zoom, obviously, if you're in this meeting, clearly you got Zoom downloaded, you're running it right now, but it's a very easy process. You go to the website, which is zoom.us, and then you can sign up for an account. It's totally free. You do have the option to pay for more like premium or advanced accounts, but a general Zoom basic account is totally free. Don't have to pay anything. So then after you sign up for an account, you'll be prompted to download the app, and then you can download it. You can download it, install it, and then it's ready to go. I did it. It takes like not even 2 minutes. If you already have a Zoom account and you want to download the app on another computer, the way I did it personally was just I Googled download Zoom, and then it takes you to Zoom's download center page. And then immediately you'll see the option to download the Zoom meeting client. And so these are just examples of the pages you'll see when you go to sign up for an account. There's that big orange button. There's that orange button right there that says sign up. It's free. And then I believe this is the second step where you confirm your date of birth. And then you'll enter your email address, hit sign up, and then it takes you to a page where you will be prompted to download the app. All right, and then setting up. So and I'm gonna have a video that will show this process, but you'll go to settings, which is the little gear icon in the top right. And then you'll go to video and audio options to make sure you have the correct webcam and microphone selected. It's always a good idea to test your microphone and your webcam before the meeting starts. You want to make sure everyone can hear you and see you, or at least you want to make sure everyone can hear you if you choose not to show your camera. And then it will usually default if, for example, you're using a Mac, which already has a webcam attached to it, and a microphone attached to it, it will usually just default to those. But like I'll show you in the video that's coming up next, it can display options if you have an external microphone or an external webcam. And then to add in a background, there's a page in settings called the virtual background. And then you'll have the option to choose from the defaults provided by Zoom, or you can upload your own. And so, yeah, that's the settings icon. I circled it right there. It's very tiny. It can be easy to miss. But yep, you'll see it right there. You'll click that, and then here's a little video showing you the process. All right, so there's the settings icon. So you click that, and then sorry. All right, so you'll click that, and then this window will pop up. And then those are just options that a lot of this you won't really need to pay attention to, but let's move on. All right, so video. So like I said, it will usually default to the built-in camera that your computer has. If you click that bar, if you have an external webcam hooked up to your computer, that should appear also. And then if you choose to use that, you can use that. And then there are just some options here. mirror my video, which does exactly what it says. It acts as a mirror. Touch up my appearance. You don't necessarily have to do that. It gives you just kind of a little airbrush effect. I just like doing it. I want to look my best. And then for meetings, these you necessarily don't really have to pay attention to. I personally like having the participant's name displayed. It makes it easier for me. Turn off my video when joining a meeting. That will just turn off your webcam automatically when you join the meeting, and then you just have the option to turn it back on. It won't affect your webcam or anything. All right. And so those are the video options. And now we're going to go to audio. So here you'll see settings on testing your speaker. And then again, the options to either select the built-in speakers, or if you have external speakers hooked up, you'll select those. And then there's a button, oh, excuse me, a button that says test speaker. So when you click that, it'll just make a little like ding noise, just to make sure you'll be able to hear other participants in the video. And then, yep, we'll demonstrate that. And you can adjust the output volume. All right, so you go there to test your mic. What it will do when you do this is just record. It'll set up a setting to record what you're saying, and then it'll play it back for you, so that lets you know your microphone works. And then again, select your microphone. And then again, you have the option to mute your mic when you join a meeting. And here is the virtual background options. Now, the first time you do this, Zoom is going to prompt you to download something called the Smart Virtual Background Package. This isn't an external app, it's part of Zoom. You'll hit download and it literally takes, you'll see, it takes like 5 seconds. And then you're ready to go for your background. So you have the choice of Zoom's default backgrounds or videos. And then you see this little plus sign here. This will give you the option to upload your own background. So I actually did that. I clicked that. I found this nice picture of the MCTV set, decided to use that as my background. And so this isn't necessary for most things, but if you're creating, like the example before, like a comedy sketch or something like that, or a narrative video, then this is a very fun, useful feature. Okay, so now we're going to talk about hosting and joining meetings. So to host a meeting, you have 2 options for this. Excuse me. So you have a couple options for this. You can either schedule one in advance by clicking the schedule icon, and I'll have pictures that will show you where everything is. So you click the schedule icon and a pop-up window will come up and it'll give you options for what time you want your meeting, how long you want your meeting to be. One of the things with this is that if you have the basic account, you only have a 40-minute time limit for scheduling a meeting in advance. So that's the only thing that's really doesn't work with that. Or you can just, if you're just talking to a friend, something like that, you can just launch a meeting. There's the icon that says start meeting. It's, I believe, the very first one you'll see. And then you can just invite others once you're actually meeting. This option, I don't really believe has a time limit, because I did that when I recorded my podcast and we ended up going for an hour. I think it's only scheduling the meeting if you have a basic account that it limits you to 40 minutes. But I could be wrong. I'm personally still learning Zoom. I really did not use it as intensely as I did until all of this happened. So, you know, it's a process. And then joining a meeting. Usually the way you'll do this, so if somebody invites you to a meeting, you'll receive an email about the scheduled meeting. There's a link to join. You can click that and you're all set. Or sometimes there's meeting passwords, or there's meeting IDs that you'll like dial in. I've really only done meetings by clicking the link, but there's multiple ways for people to join a meeting. You can call in. There's multiple phone numbers provided in those emails. And then, so you can join in that way. If you don't want to use your computer, you can use your phone. And then, so here are all the options when you're launching meetings. So new meeting is that big orange icon. That's the first thing you'll see. You'll click that and then you're just starting a meeting. It'll usually be just you in the room, and then you can invite everyone you want as needed. And then there's the scheduling option. So scheduling, you'll click that and then this window will pop up. And so you can change the topic of your meeting, change the date, change the time. it'll generate a meeting ID. And then I think in the basic account, excuse me, it makes you require a password for your meeting. Video, you can make yourself the host, participants, that'll just sort of divide who's who. I don't think I really did that when I recorded my podcast. I think I just had everyone sort of a free-for-all. So it is best to select that if you want your meeting to be a little more organized. And then this just gives the option to save it to your calendar and to save it to others' calendars if you choose to invite people. And then the advanced options, enable waiting room, means that, so let's say you're the host and you haven't joined yet. Basically, if a participant joins before you, they'll be in a little waiting room and it just says, wait for the host to start the meeting. Enable join before host will let any of the participants just join. Mute participants upon entry. Everyone will be automatically muted when they start the meeting. And then there's the option to automatically record the meeting on the local computer. If you don't want to press record, it'll just start automatically. And then you'll hit schedule and you're all set. And yeah, those are pretty much the basics of Zoom. You'll see it does take a while to get used to. It's like I said, it's still taking me a while to get used to personally. I'm still learning it every day, but it is so useful for creating content and it's so easy. And even, you know, without the situation, let's say you want to record a podcast, you're in Marshfield, you have a guest who lives in California. This makes it so easy. You can just set up your webcam, they'll set up their webcam, press record on Zoom, and it's done. You don't have to do anything crazy with microphones, hooking up to phones or anything like that. So the best thing about Zoom is that, yes, it's useful for communicating, but it's also a very easy way for even beginners to start creating videos. So yeah, that's my bit. Does anybody have any questions?
There was one question in the chat about custom backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do a custom background in Zoom?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Custom backgrounds. You clearly have a custom background.
Oh yeah.
How do you do custom backgrounds?
Right. So let me pull up. Oh, I almost clicked end the meeting, not exit full screen. Let me go share my screen again. And then, okay, here we are. All right, let's present it from this side. So I did not take a video of this, I should have, but you'll see this little plus sign icon here. This is what gives you the option to upload your own background as opposed to using one of Zoom's default virtual backgrounds. So maybe you don't want the Golden Gate Bridge or grass or space or the Northern Lights or anything like that. You just hit that plus sign and then it's like uploading it, and then it gives you the option similar to uploading a picture to Facebook. So it's just pick it from your browser, from your documents, and then yeah, it'll just upload immediately. So it's super, super easy.
That's great. Well, Haley, thank you very much for taking us through Zoom. And just a reminder to those who missed this Tech and Treats that it will be posted online. So look out for that. And just a reminder that our next Tech and Treats will be in late July. So thanks everyone for joining, and we will see you next time.